Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this free recap video we're going to talk about a couple things. Number one, the volume weighted average price just delivered again. And for those of you that are intraday trading, I've made this tool available free. It's a tool that's available free on many platforms, and what we've been continuing to do is utilize this to find those basically those inflection points, those points where the market could be overbought or oversold, specifically on a 1-minute chart. So this is really about day trading. It's not what I do primarily. It's not the only thing that I do. It's just a time frame that will capture certain psychology at certain times of day. I'll give you an idea. We just rolled out of a 60-minute chart buy in silver. So that's a little bit longer term, a 1-hour chart. We've had a longer term short in the Russell on the daily time frame all week, right? So I think one message, if I can give anybody listening to me for the first time or maybe the 101st time, is there is no favorite time frame, really. There is no best time frame, really. They all should be, fluid. You should be ready for an opportunity across any of them at any given time, because the most important thing is market structure, okay? And that's something I talk about a lot. So let's talk about this move here on the Russell, and just kind of setting up for something that I think will be, well, we touched on is Tuesday in the recap video. I want to touch on it again as we wrap up the week. All right, so first of all, this is a trade that we took. It was a short trade that we took based on, and this is much more interesting than the winner that we had, but why did the market rally? China. Why has the market rallied any number of times this week? China. What was the rip we had 2 weeks ago in the larger markets? We had that giant correction. China. So you kind of see where I'm going here. And we're closing in on the November 30th G20, where once again, we're going to be talking about, China. So let's talk about this for a moment. The G20, China and the U.S., is there going to be a ceasefire? We don't know. Could they kick the can down the road and do something as simple as we're going to delay the January 1st, 25% tariff hike? Could that be something simple and easy that this administration can do to sort of kickstart the equities markets? And make no bones about it, this administration cares about where the equities markets are at, just by their comments. Is the framework that Wilbur Ross talked about going to be relevant going into November 30 to December 1 with the Buenos Aires G20 meeting? If all we're going to get is a framework, but that can be spun in such a way that it seems like China and the U.S. are making progress towards some sort of agreement. And by the way, that was a big part of why the market rallied. Yeah, of course, we're going to see that relief rally. Now, could the relief rally turn into a Santa rally? And that's what I talked about on Tuesday. The potential for that trade to happen, the potential for the market ultimately to transition into a bit of a more sustained uptrend in that seasonal expectation, and whether or not the G20 is the trigger, and really where this would play out, okay? So I'm showing you a 1-minute chart because this move was a China move, okay? But what I'm also saying is the market in a much bigger way on the daily time frame could be poised for such a rally as well. And depending on where we are in front of the G20, like for example, let's say we're down here in front of G20, then I would no doubt look for a move to just kind of retest the highs. That would be really perfect, because quite frankly, I'd be all over shorts in this area if that's what we're doing, most especially on the NASDAQ and the Russell, right? Those are my preferred shorts by far. I'm day trading those to the downside much more aggressively, and we've been trading the 120 and daily this week alone, again, taking advantage of the weakness. So I guess, really as we go forward, which markets am I most bearish in? Tech and small cap. Am I looking for a potential rip higher? Absolutely, that could be triggered by the G20. And, even intraday, when the mention of China comes up, I am fading it. I am for now fading it, and that's what this was. But China's the key word here, gang, and that's exactly what we'll be talking about really for the next 2 weeks. I'll see you in the next update.